Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for what a turnout. What a turnout. I've been to meetings where they've just done up one person who passed. Now, the reason why we're here is because they're wanting to put the minor memorial to Thornhill people in Dewsbury Town Centre. Now, I'd stopped doing this community issue thing because if you put your head above the parapet up Thornhill, you get shot at by your own people. But this is one thing I couldn't leave, because I believe that should be in Thornhill. It's a sacrilege that they're wanting to actually put it in Dewsbury. And to think that Herbert Wood had spent 20 years trying to get it in Thornhill, I think we owe it to Herbert Wood to get it up here. Obviously, I don't know what your views are. I'm just assuming you've turned up because you want it up Thornhill. But there might be objections along the way, but we'll have to overcome them.
So in terms of what I got told, the wheel is being looked at, possibly as a location in terms of Long Causeway, with benches and with the roll of honour of those that died within the town hall. So then I said, hang on a minute, and I said this to yourself as well. Sean mentioned a location near Rectory Park, stroke Frank Lane, as well as Rectory Park.
This is a £5,000 job, maximum. This is not 40 grand like they've in Dewsbury, because they've had to pay for people to design it. I can get that done in my office. We've got to have people that are going to do a structural engineer's report. I can get that done. And Paul, who helped start this off, and Simon, we've discussed this, and we've got people that will come dig the hole, take the muck away, put the concrete in, and we've got other contacts that will supply other things. It's what we can bring to the group. I'm coming into the group as a construction project manager.
I think myself something like a square plinth, and rather than a huge wheel, I believe that the things that were essential to the miners, the safety lamps, the canary in the cage, the miners' helmets with the lights, models of those on the top.
Hi, what's your thoughts on the memorial and where it should be located?
I think it's a really great idea that we want a memorial and need a memorial. I'm kind of a bit indecisive about where it should be exactly. If they're thinking at the top of the Rectory Park, I don't think that's too bad an idea. But it really depends on whether they decide to get the wheel or anything else. I'm not that happy particularly about the trees, if they're going to plant trees, because I think 139 trees is a lot of trees to plant in one area, depending on the size of the area that we would be allotted.
Hi, good evening. What's your thoughts on the memorial and its location?
Well, Thornhill was a very close-knit mining community, and at the time of the disaster there would be very few people in Thornhill that weren't either related or that certainly all know someone that died in the pit.
Right.
So it's a fitting place to have it in Thornhill. Why anyone would consider having it anywhere else, I don't really know.
No.
I do rather like the sound of a wheel. I think a wheel looks impressive.
You prefer the wheel?
But where, yeah, I do.
What about a wheel on the Long Causeway in Dewsbury though?
No.
No.
As it stands at the minute, if it had to go there, I wouldn't be too bothered.
Right.
But with the plans that they're thinking of doing now, and they're thinking of putting a lot of trees and shrubs there, so I can't see that it would stand out. I don't know where they could put it, where it would stand out to the people who are passing by.
Right.
Because they're trying to make it into an area where people will just go and sit and maybe have a picnic or something.
Absolutely.
So from the pictures I've seen, no, I wouldn't want it there.
And which memorial would you prefer? A few's been discussed, a few tonight. There's the wheel, there's been the trees with the plaques. What would you like to see?
The wheel seems quite a popular one in other mining areas around Wakefield district and what have you, but Lofthouse has a nice granite type of memorial, so either really would do for me. A wheel would be nice because it signifies the mine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you think the trees would be the better memorial or the wheel? Or would you prefer to have both?
I'm from a mining background. My family live in Crofton. They all work down pit. When I go over there, I see pit wheels everywhere. and that is part of the heritage of that area, and that's the part of the heritage of this area, because this were a mining village, and this is why Thornhill were here. We was moving the wheels of industry by giving Dewsbury coal. We were actually filling them mills up with coal and for the steam engines, which made Dewsbury prosper that much. It overtook Thornhill, because at that particular point in time, Thornhill was at its own council. They were the first here, Thornhill, and we helped Dewsbury grow into what it is today.
And am I right in thinking you've actually got a family connection to somebody that died in the disaster?
I do, yes. I personally lost 2 great-grandfathers in the disaster, and several members of the wider family.
Right.
My grandfather as well, he were a pit deputy down there, and my father was the first one in the family not to go down the pit. So.
Right. And it has been said about having a memorial actually in Dewsbury town centre itself. Now, am I right in thinking that back then Dewsbury wasn't actually part of Thornhill?
No, not until 1910. In 1910, that's when we were amalgamated with Dewsbury Borough Council, and up until 1910 it was Thornhill. We had his own waterworks, we had his own council workers, and to think that it would go to Dewsbury after all the sacrifices that all them people before made to make Thornhill great, it's sacrilege that it should go into Dewsbury. It's a bit like us getting a mill machine or a bit of a carding machine, putting it in the park and saying this is for the people who died in Dewsbury Mills. It just doesn't make sense to put it in Dewsbury.
Also, the other disaster as well that happened later.
In 1947.
Will that be incorporated into that memorial as well?
Personally, I'd like to see every person that died in that pit, because Thornhill pit, although 139 died in 1893, it was another disaster in 1947 where 11 men lost their lives. But when you look up the records, people were dying every other week or every other year or every other month in the pits around here. So I think we should find out who exactly died underground here and remember them in some way or another.